Oh, hi guys, it's Howard again, and this time we're having a look at my Agfa Karat 36. It's a very interesting little camera. They were released in 1948, and the Karat 36 was a top-of-the-range rangefinder, 35mm camera with some very quirky features. Mine's one of the earlier ones, with a Compur rapid shutter with 1 to 1/500th of a second and B, and with apertures from f2 to f16. A variety of top-class lenses were used and no expense was spared. These were very expensive cameras in their day, and if you're hoping to pick one up today to get a good one, you're still going to be looking at least $150 to $200. Let's have a look at the strengths of the camera. First of all, you may have noticed that it's a pop-out front camera with bellows. Okay, so it folds away, and to close it, you press down on the little tab, push it in a bit, and then close it the rest of the way until it clicks. That makes it relatively slim, and you can fit in a coat pocket, but at 700 grams, it's no lightweight, so just be aware of that. Anyhow, let's open it up again, push that back, let it out, pull it a little bit just to make sure that the lock clicks in. Okay. Well, mine's got the Schneider Kreuznach Xenon f2 50mm lens. It's a top quality lens of the day, 6 elements and color-coded. The Compur rapid shutter was highly rated at that time too, and mine, I must admit, it works flawlessly after the 70-odd years that this camera has existed. When using 1/500th, the speed should be selected before the camera is cocked. There is a stronger spring involved. Now I'll just give you a look at this. The speeds are around here, so we've got 1 second through to a 500th, but when you get towards the 500th, you'll notice it gets stiffer and you've got to put extra pressure on. And that's because there's a stronger spring involved to make sure the 500th of a second is actually a 500th of a second. All right, the rangefinder is unique. If you look at the two windows, one's above the other, and there's a center line that the two just fractionally overlap. And so when you actually look through the viewfinder, the picture is cut in half horizontally, and you simply use the focus to line up the top half with the bottom half. It's very simple, and it works really well. It's pity a few more of them didn't do it, although the line across can be a bit distracting, but nevertheless it works really well. The whole body is cast. Even the top and bottom are actually cast, and I think it's either aluminium or magnesium. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's but anyhow, they're very nicely made, and absolute top quality camera. And I think I mentioned it weighs in around 700 grams. Now let's do a quick run around on the controls. Down the bottom here, we've got the apertures. So you move the little needle to the aperture, so it's from f2. It actually goes a bit past 2, but it makes no difference. f2 around to f16. So that works the apertures. The speeds are on the front here, so it's 1/500th all the way down to 1 second, and then B. And it's a very good shutter mechanism. Now on top of the camera, we've got, as you can see, there's the knob for rewinding the film, and that's got 2 positions. So it lifts up the first position for the actual rewinding to clear the bodywork, and all the way up to put the film cassette in. On top of here is one of the bugbears of the camera. It's a depth of field scale, and it's really cumbersome. So if you're using, say, f8 around there, and you focus to 12 or 15 or 5 meters, let's say, Well, let's say you're using F11 because it's already there. So you put the F11, around on the 5 meters, and you can see everything from about 15 meters down to 3 meters is in focus, but it's pretty cumbersome. It's one of the real weaknesses of this camera. Also, we've got the shutter button and the film advance, the frame counter. That's manually set, so there's a little mark right at the front there. Hopefully you can see that in there. It's right at the 90 degree straight ahead position. And when you load the film, which I'll do a little later, I'll show you how to set that. Now, this camera, it opens at the bottom there. It has overlapping light traps on the back and the body, so they fold into each other, so there's absolutely no need for, foam seals or anything of that nature. It's completely light tight without anything like that. Now, one of the weaknesses with the camera is that you can accidentally lock it up. So if you've cocked it and you accidentally trigger this down here, then you'll find it's locked because the button hasn't been pressed. You can't press it, or it makes no difference. But there is a way around solving this. If you focus out all the way out to 3 feet, you can see the cocking mechanism there. So you can simply grab that with your fingernail, take it across and cock it. Now it's released, and now you can wind and cock normally. So that can be a bit of a trap. Interestingly, and I can't work this out, there's a cold shoe on top, but there is absolutely no connection anywhere on the camera for a flash. Now, the next model to mine, which had a solid knob instead of this little flip down lever, it had an actual just a knob sticking out, that actually had a flash connection just coming out the shutter just here. But this model has had the cold shoe, but no flash possibilities whatsoever. Now, there's another strange little thing here. It's obviously, you can use a cable release with it, but if it's on a tripod and you don't happen to have a cable release with you and you want to do a time exposure, if you push this little tab here down to about 45 degrees down, take the shot. So for time you'd be put on B, but then you press it down and it holds it there for you. And then when the time of 30 seconds or what's up, you can just edge it up with your fingernail. It'll pop up again. So without a cable release, you can still take a timed shot. It's not ideal, but it's better than nothing. The viewfinder, like a lot of these early cameras, is quite small, and really if you wear glasses you'll struggle a bit. Basically I have to take my glasses off to use this camera, and so it's, be warned. If you wear glasses, it's not the greatest. Now, it's not really a weakness, and you've probably noticed what I've been doing, but the film wind lever works backwards. So instead of pulling it around that way, you pull it back this way. And it's a very precise feeling unit. It's quality all the way, but it does take a little bit of getting used to. So that just hinges up when it's in its case. You pull it down, pull it around, fire it. So it's a little bit odd like that. Now, on the bottom, you've just got the rewind button and the a standard size 1/4 inch tripod mount. So let's load a film in it, and this will be a bit awkward because of the position I'm in and the position the phone that's recording this is in, but let's give it a go. So I've got an old film here. Whoops. So we'll push that all the way up, so that's clear. Drop the cassette in, close that. Pull this little tab down. Now this is very important here. It's got a little tab that locks the film onto the drive cogs. So that's something that's really useful. I'll just line up the slot in the... Okay, so there's the slot. There's a little tooth in the slot just down here. So we'll get one of the holes to locate onto that. No, it popped off, I think. Try it again. Yeah, this is awkward doing it this way, but let's give it another go. Okay, I'll just wind back the slack in there. There. Okay, so I think I've got it on this time. Yep, all right. Now make sure that the teeth are through the holes there, and then flip up the little tab which holds it there. So we can close the back, bring it around. Now we've got to manually set the film counter. Now with that little dot straight ahead, it's got to go clockwise. Use a thumb to wind it around till we get to the letter A there. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so we wind on once, take it, twice, take it, and now we're ready for, it'll go on to 1 when we wind the next shot on. So we're ready to start shooting. So that's about it. Overall, it's a superbly built camera, and apart from the depth of field scale up here, which is a bit of a nightmare, it's an absolute joy to use. So now it's the time to like and subscribe. If you found this video useful or entertaining at all, I'd really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one.